One thing you need to understand about the judgment of God, the ultimate judgment, the white throne judgment, when each and every single one of us is going to give an account on what we did with the life that was given us, is that everything matters, but not at the same level. There is a hierarchy of things that some matter more than others. Because at the end of the day, you cannot excel at everything. It's impossible. You are not going to succeed at everything. You are going to drop the ball in some area of life, which is why the Lord teaches us priorities. Even within the Torah, not everything is equal. Within the 10 Commandments, not everything is equal. There is a hierarchy. Hence, you got a first commandment and you got a 10th commandment in order. Just like when you read the ingredients on a product, it starts with the one of the most significant, the one in greater abundance than the last. Some things just matter more than others. Not to say that they don't matter, right? We say last but not least. Well, they all matter. But if you had to choose, you'd be so much better off if you actually stick to the strict commandments of God. See, we always hear about all these people with their green environmentalist stuff and climate change and, recycling and anti-plastic and all of these things, clean the oceans. Listen, kudos to them, right? I mean, they care for the planet. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. Don't need to, make fun of them for that. Oh, you little green hippie. Well, they care for the planet. That's good. That's our home. We should care for the planet. The problem is that those same people that care so much for the oceans do not care at all for their body, which they violate with homosexual relations. What's more important? Your body created by God in His image, or the plastic in the oceans? Do you see the stupidity here? Well, some of you will, most of you will not. Because most people are just that blind. They care so much for nature, and yet you pollute your own flesh with tattoos and ink, graffiti, the very body that was given by God to house His Spirit. But you care for the recycling of cardboard and steel and glass and putting each thing in its proper container. And then, of course, you inject all kind of needles in your arms and take all kind of psychotropic drugs that ruin your brain, and you fill your mind with junk. So, what do you think is going to happen in your judgment? Oh, you've cleaned my oceans. Well done. No. Oh, you cleaned the oceans. That's nice, but you didn't clean your own mind. You didn't clean your own body. In fact, you violated and polluted it gravely so. So if I have to choose the priorities, as I've mentioned before, do what God says. Everything matters, right? But do what God says. And that hits home for all of you Christians, because most of you do not do what God says. You love to misquote Paul and say you're not under the law, you're under grace, as a way of saying, oh, we don't have to do anything that God says. We're still going to make it into heaven. Which is the stupidest thing that religion have ever come up with. Almost on the same level of Muhammad and his fake religion of Islam. What do you mean you don't have to do anything and you're still going to enter the kingdom of heaven? Where do you get that nonsense from? Yeshua himself said, not anyone who says to me, Lord, Lord. Right? He said it. He said, I didn't come to abolish the Torah. So where do you get this nonsense? You have to do what God says. or else you're not going to be in his kingdom. It doesn't make sense. Would he bring in a bunch of rebellious people who don't listen to him? He's going to say to you, depart from me. I never knew you. Common sense. Oh yes, you cared for the ocean and the climate change, and you went to all of those Greenpeace protests, etc., etc. Well, that's nice. But that's not what was required. What was required is that you love justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. But you do neither one. Maybe you do a little bit of mercy. You adopt a dog, you adopt a frog, you feed a homeless person once a month. But is that really what the Torah says to do? No. So if I have to drop the ball, I'd rather drop the ball on the recycling part and the cleanliness of the earth. Not because I don't care for the earth is important, but the earth is gone. It is so beyond what any of you or me can fix. What good is it if you put the cardboard in the green container and the glass in the purple container and the plastic in the white? It makes no difference, and yet this is your religion, so many of you, my family included, recycling. We're so religious about it. Don't you dare throw it in the trash. That goes in the recycle bin. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me, I didn't mean to offend your religion. And yet they give no regard to the maker of heaven and earth. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And of course, this is their self-righteousness, right? Oh, we care for the planet. We are good people. You put things in the trash. You are bad people. Well, the good thing is Papa is in control and he's the judge. So he told you a layout of what he values and what he is expecting you to perform. So it's not going to be a surprise for any wise person with discernment to know what he needs to do in order to get a good grade on the final exam and hear the words, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Because you're good and faithful. If you're not, well, why would he lie to you? He's not a liar. The Lord is faithful and he's true. So, well, maybe I didn't feed the stray cats and the stray dogs. Maybe I dropped a few plastic bags in the wrong bin. I didn't save the whales and the dolphins and didn't feed the hungry turtles. Oh well. But I cared for the people. I fed his sheep, not just with bread and water, but with the word of God. Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes out of the mouth of God. Yeshua said to Peter, do you love me? Yes, Lord. Feed my sheep. He didn't mean go and give them grass. He meant give them the word of God, that they might have life eternal. Yeshua said, my flesh is real food, the bread of God. He was born in Bethlehem, house of bread. He is the word of God made flesh, the bread of God, the word of God. That is the food that gives life. Not your organic green beans from your farmer's market that you love so much. You eat organic, but you don't keep yourself organic. Neither is your mind organic, filled with all kind of GMO and mutated conspiracies and man-made religions. All of the perversion of what's organic and natural, but you eat organic. You people are crazy. No wonder judgment has to come. There's no fixing this. It just has to burn. It's too far gone. Papa is just gonna cut it off as a loss and move on. So take it to heart and focus on what's important. Order of priorities, and you'll be blessed.
So the question is, why? Why are you so environmentally perfect about your office space, your workspace, your gym space, your exercise space, your dog parts. You're so perfect about your barbecue outdoor deck at your house, your add-on, your landscaping in your yard. You're so perfect about your summer house or your winter house. You're so perfect about the shoes you wear, the shirts you wear, the pants you buy, the colognes and the perfumes, the jewelry you wear. You're so perfectly coiffed about your barber or your beautician, your braids or your beads or your weaves, your headscarves, your headgear, your backpacks, your hunting items, your surfboard, your running shoes, and you cyclers, your bikes. You're so perfect, religious about the Dodgers and the Lakers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cowboys and the Saints, the Chargers, the 49ers. Did I skip your team? Or are you a hockey lover? Or the little white golf balls on the nice $1 million, $1 billion green lawns? You're very perfect about that. You're very dedicated to your seminars, your gurus, your chants, your mantras, your charms, your mystics. Did I forget something? Certainly there is so much that you do so well and so perfectly, so devotedly, devoutly, and not to mention the shape, the cuts, the fill-ins, the silicone, the surgeries for your bodies, and the worship of that tan, that glorious tan. The makeup, the eyelashes, the lipstick, the rouge, the foundation, the wigs, the figs, only because it rhymes with wigs. You're not crazy about figs. But that other word you are, with a different vowel in it, you are. Yes, the things you drive, those wonderful, ridiculously expensive vehicles known as cars. Lord help us. And all of the aforementioned are, in one way or another, your antichrist, meaning your replacement, instead of God. It is where you find your value because you don't find it in God. God is faith, the mitzvahs, loving the Lord. That's too much for you. Now, the politicians, oh, don't get me started. Talk about a passion. Your libertarians, your egalitarians, your promoters, all kinds of different, oh my Lord. Oh, my Papa, help us. Well, you'll wear those Trump hats or those Obama shirts or those resistance logos. Oh, you are passionate. You will march. You will scream. You will turn yourselves into a mob. You will protest. It is such as it is. It's the world you live in. And how dissatisfying and sad it is for those of us who know the Lord, or so knowing the Lord, I should say. We claim, but do they really know that you know the Lord? Do you run your business that way? If I came to your company and interviewed all of your employees privately without them knowing I was a man of the Lord, what would they say? What is truly your testimony? If I knocked on the doors of your neighbors where you live, what would they say? If I asked your bosses where you work, what would they say? If I found your co-workers, the ones that you share the cubicle with, what would they say? Does the liquor store know you for buying water? Does the casino know you for coming for the meal at the buffet? Or are you there for something else? Does the hotel know you for getting a room for someone homeless? Or is it getting a room for you know who? What is your testimony? Where is the evidence? For God's judges, God's eye, is he guilty of helping, of loving? Is he guilty of doing the works of God? Not as a point to bribe God or to do something good so you can justify getting drunk or the drugs or the woman or whatever else you're involved in. What are you doing it for? Is it to mask, to hide, to make yourself feel good when you know you're not? He wants more your heart than he wants your money. Because if he had your heart, you would recognize that the money comes from the Lord. He wants your heart, not showing up at a building on Wednesday night or your violation of Sabbath on Sunday morning. He wants your heart more than coming to the synagogue on Sabbath, participating in the oneg and the kiddush. He wants your heart more than just sitting and reading the books in a yeshiva for the sake of reading, because it's just what you do, or the love and passion for the words and the lessons that are on the pages, or the hearing of your mentors, your preachers, your ministers, your rabbis, your teachers. You really the teacher's pet because you love the teacher, or you just want to get the grade to get out to the next stage? Why are you here? Why do you do what you do? And those that love will never have to be told to do more. But you do, because you do not love.